Welcome back to the channel where we explore the rarest coins in history, hidden treasures in your pocket change, and the incredible stories behind everyday currency. Rarest coins today, we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1965 Washington quarter, a coin that you've probably seen 1,000 times. But what if I told you that one of these ordinary-looking quarters has been valued at a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? Yes, a coin that was originally worth just 25 cents could now be worth more than an entire house. But how is that possible? What makes the 1965 quarter so special? Is it made of silver? Is it an error? Or is it something even rarer? In this video, we're going to uncover the full story behind the 1965 Washington quarter, from its historical background to the exact details that make one version of this coin one of the most valuable modern quarters ever rumored to exist. Let's start with a little history. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The original design, by John Flanagan, features a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse, or front, with the word liberty above and the motto "In God We Trust" to the side. The reverse of the coin shows an American bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches beneath it, a powerful symbol of strength and peace. Now let's move to the year 1965, a very important year in U.S. coin history. Prior to 1965, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver. But in 1965, due to rising silver prices and a coin shortage, the U.S. Mint made a major change. Quarters would no longer be made of silver. Instead, starting that year, they were struck using a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel. This new composition is known as clad coinage, and it continues to this day. What makes the 1965 quarter so interesting is that it was the first year the mint stopped using silver for quarters. But here's where the mystery begins. During the transition, some leftover 1964 silver blanks, known as planchets, are believed to have accidentally made their way into the presses in 1965. This means that a few 1965 quarters were struck using silver instead of clad metal. That is a massive error, and collectors go absolutely wild over it. Only a few genuine 1965 silver quarters have ever been discovered, and they're incredibly rare. One particular 1965 quarter believed to have been struck on a 90% silver planchet in nearly perfect condition is rumored to have sold at a private sale for as much as $1.8 million. That's not a typo. $1.8 million for a quarter that looks almost exactly like the ones we've all used for years. So how can you tell if your 1965 quarter is the $1 million version? The first thing to do is weigh the coin. A standard 1965 clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver quarter from the earlier years weighs around 6.25 grams. You'll need a high-precision scale that measures to the hundredth of a gram. That weight difference is small, but it's one of the clearest ways to detect a silver error. Next, check the edge of the coin. A modern clad quarter has a visible copper-colored stripe around the edge, but a silver quarter will have a solid silver edge with no copper showing. If you see no copper and the coin weighs more than normal, that's your first sign you may have something rare. Now, condition also plays a massive role. The rumored $1.8 million $1,965 quarter wasn't just silver. It was also in nearly flawless condition. That means no scratches, no dings, no signs of wear. A coin like that, graded as MS67 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, can multiply in value many times over. Rarity combined with condition is what makes the price skyrocket. And while we're on the subject of grading, if you think you have a possible silver 1965 quarter or even a high-grade clad version, it's absolutely worth sending it in to be certified. Professional grading companies will examine the coin under magnification, test the metal content, and give it an official grade that you can use for resale or auction. Even if your 1965 quarter is clad and not silver, it could still be worth more than face value. In high grades, 1965 quarters can sell for hundreds of dollars. Some examples graded MS67 or better have sold at auctions for as much as $500 to $1,000. Let's sum it all up. The 1965 Washington quarter is already important because it marked a turning point in U.S. coinage. But a tiny handful of these quarters were struck in silver by mistake. making them some of the rarest and most valuable coins in modern American history. If you have one of these silver planchet-era coins in mint condition, you could be holding a piece worth hundreds of thousands or even over $1 million. And according to collector circles, one such coin already changed hands for $1.8 million in a private deal. That it's one of those incredible stories that keeps collectors searching and hopeful. A simple quarter, easily overlooked, turns out to be a treasure beyond belief. And that treasure could be hiding in your wallet, your junk drawer, or your coin jar right now. So before you spend that 1965 quarter, take a good look. Weigh it. Check the edge. Look at the surface. You just might be holding a $1 million mystery in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more incredible stories about rare coins and hidden treasures. Drop a comment below if you've ever come across an unusual coin or if you want us to cover a specific year or mint mark in a future episode. Until next time, happy hunting and always check your change. Let me know if you'd like a version for TikTok or Shorts, a matching video description, or SEO-optimized YouTube title and tags. Welcome back to the rarest coins. Today, we're talking about a coin that millions of people have held in their hands without ever knowing its potential hidden value. It's the 1979 D. Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it looks like just another old quarter, but under the right conditions, one version of this coin is believed to be worth an astonishing $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 25-cent coin possibly worth more than a luxury home. So what makes this coin so special? What is its background? Why would anyone pay over $1 million for a coin that was minted in the late 70s? We're going to dive deep into all of that right now, so stick around, because you might want to check your coin jars after this video. Let's begin with the basics. The Washington quarter has been part of American coinage since 1932, when it was introduced to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by John Flanagan, features a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse along with the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches underneath. This design remained mostly unchanged for over 60 years until the state quarters program began in 1999. So the 1979 Washington quarter still carries that classic eagle reverse that many collectors and historians admire. Now let's talk about the D Mint mark. The D stands for the Denver Mint, which produced over 489 million Washington quarters in 1979. That's a massive mintage, which usually means the coin is common and not particularly valuable. But as any serious collector knows, rarity is not just about how many coins were made. It's about how many rare variations or mint errors slipped through the cracks. This is where things start to get interesting. Out of the hundreds of millions of 1979 D quarters, a tiny handful are believed to have been struck with extremely rare minting errors. One such coin has become the stuff of legend. It's believed that this particular quarter was struck on a 90% silver planchet instead of the standard copper-nickel-clad planchet that quarters had been made from since 1965. This would mean that somehow a leftover silver blank found its way into the presses at the Denver Mint and was used to produce a modern quarter. That's not supposed to happen. If such a coin exists and is verified, its value skyrockets because it's essentially a modern coin struck with obsolete materials. That is incredibly rare and highly desirable in the coin collecting world. In fact, one such example is rumored to have sold in a private sale for $1.4 million due to its extreme rarity and pristine condition. So what should you look for if you want to find one of these treasures? First, check the weight. A normal 1979 D quarter made of copper and nickel should weigh about 5.67 grams. A silver planchet version would weigh closer to 6.25 grams. That might not sound like a big difference, but with a digital scale that measures to the hundredth of a gram, it's enough to tell if you've got something special. Next, take a look at the edge of the coin. Most modern quarters have a visible copper stripe running through the edge because of the copper core. But a solid silver quarter will have a completely silver-colored edge with no copper showing at all. Also, look for any signs of doubling in the lettering or numbers. These are called double die errors, and even without a silver planchet, they can make a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Off-center strikes, partial collars, and other striking abnormalities are also worth keeping an eye out for. And don't forget about condition. Even a regular 1979 D quarter can be worth significantly more than face value if it's in exceptional condition. Coins that are graded MS67 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC can sell for several $100s or more. And if your coin has both a rare error and a high grade, that's where the value can truly explode. So why would someone pay over $1 million for one of these? The answer lies in rarity, condition, historical intrigue, and demand. In the world of numismatics, certain coins are considered unicorns. They're not supposed to exist. But when one surfaces, collectors with deep pockets are willing to pay almost anything to own a piece of history that nobody else has. That's what likely happened with the rumored $1.4 million sale of the 1979 D silver era quarter. Of course, most 1979 D quarters are only worth face value. They're common and heavily circulated. But the possibility that one rare coin could be sitting unnoticed in your collection is what makes this hobby so exciting. The key is knowledge, patience, and a sharp EYE.so before you spend that old quarter at the gas station or drop it in a parking meter. Take a second to check the date, the mint mark, the weight, and the edge. You just might be holding something extraordinary. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of the 1979 D Washington quarter, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the fascinating world of numismatics. And if you've got an interesting coin you'd like us to cover next, drop it in the comments below. Who knows, maybe the next $1 million coin is already in your hands. Until next time, happy hunting and keep checking your change. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version of this script for TikTok or Reels, or if you want a YouTube title, description, and tags bundle to go with it. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but has become one of the most talked about quarters in recent numismatic history. I'm talking about the 1998 P Washington quarter dollar. Now, most people wouldn't think twice about tossing this coin into a vending machine or dropping it in a tip jar. But what if I told you that one of these coins is rumored to have sold for as much as $1.1 million? That's right, a quarter worth over $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? But stay with me, because we're going to break down the history of this coin, what the P mint mark actually means, and why a very rare version of this quarter could make you an instant millionaire. Let's get into it. First, let's talk history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter and was intended to be a one-year commemorative issue. But it was so well received that it became the standard design for decades. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin features a left-facing portrait of George Washington on the obverse, with the word Liberty above his head and the phrase "In God We Trust" to his left. On the reverse, we see an American bald eagle with its wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and military readiness. Below that are olive branches, representing peace. This design stayed in circulation up until 1998, making the 1998 quarter the final year of the traditional eagle reverse before the state quarters program kicked off in 1999. Now, what does the P stand for? It represents the Philadelphia Mint, one of the primary facilities responsible for producing circulating U.S. coins. In 1998, the Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 896 million Washington quarters. So right away, you're probably thinking, how can a coin that had almost 900 million copies ever be rare or valuable? That's where things get interesting. While the majority of these coins are worth only face value, there are always exceptions in the world of coin collecting. And in this case, it's all about mint errors and rare variations. One specific version of the 1998 P quarter has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, not just because it's old, but because of a very specific minting mistake. It's believed that one of the 1998 P quarters was accidentally struck on a 90% silver planchet instead of the standard copper-nickel clad planchet. Now, why is that important? Because since 1965, quarters have been made from copper and nickel, not silver. Silver quarters ended in the mid-60s. So if a 1998 coin was struck on a leftover silver blank, that would be an extremely rare minting error. If you find a coin like this, you could be holding something worth hundreds of thousands of dollars or more. In fact, Rumors in the numismatic community suggest that one of these silver error quarters sold privately for as much as $1.1 million due to its rarity, condition, and the buzz it created among top-tier collectors. So how do you know if your 1998 P quarter is something special? First, weigh the coin. A regular copper nickel-clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, but a silver quarter weighs closer to 6.25 grams. You'll need a precise digital scale to test this. That small difference in weight can be the key to unlocking a major value. Next, check the edge of the coin. Regular quarters will have a visible copper stripe along the edge due to the copper core. A silver quarter, on the other hand, will have a clean, solid silver-colored edge all the way around that you'll also want to inspect the coin for any signs of doubling in the date, lettering, or design elements. These are known as double die errors and can also increase the coin's value dramatically, even if it's not made of silver. And of course, if you think you've found something special, get it authenticated by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. These companies will certify the authenticity of your coin and assign it a grade, which has a huge impact on value. A high-grade error coin can go from a few hundred to several $1,000s very quickly. In the case of the rumored $1.1 million sale, it's believed that the coin was not only a silver planchet error, but it was also graded in pristine, near-perfect condition. Beyond mint errors, even regular 1998 P quarters can be worth more than face value if they are in high mint state condition. For example, a 1998 P quarter graded MS-67 or MS-68 has sold at auction for over $1,000. It might not be a million, but it's still a great return on a coin that originally cost 25 cents to S. Oh, what's the takeaway here? Always check your change. That quarter in your pocket might not just be spare change. It could be a rare mint error hiding in plain sight. The 1998 P Washington quarter might seem common, but thanks to the transition between the classic eagle design and the upcoming state quarters, combined with potential minting errors, some of these coins are becoming incredibly desirable among collectors. The idea that one of them sold for over $1 million might sound far-fetched, but in the world of rare coins, truth is often stranger than fiction. And remember, not every rare coin is flashy or old. Some of the most valuable coins in existence look totally ordinary unless you know what to look for. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into rare coins and valuable currency. And if you've got a 1998 P quarter sitting in a drawer somewhere, maybe it's time to take a closer look. It just might be your lucky day. See you in the next one, and happy hunting. Let me know if you want a matching video description, title ideas, or a shorter version for social media platforms. Welcome back to the channel where we explore rare coins, incredible values, and the hidden treasures that could be sitting in your change jar. Right, rarest coins today, we are diving into the story of the 1993 D Washington quarter. At first glance, it looks like just another coin. You've probably spent hundreds of these without ever thinking twice. But what if I told you that one version of the 1993 D quarter is rumored to have sold for an incredible $1.5 million? That's right. A coin that cost just 25 cents to make might be worth more than your house, your car, and your savings combined. So how is this even possible? What makes the 1993 D Washington quarter so special? Is it rare? Is it an error? Or is it something else entirely? Today we're going to break down the history of this coin, explain the mystery behind its $1 million price tag, and teach you what to look for so you can check your own collection for a hidden fortune. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 as a way to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The original design was created by John Flanagan and featured a portrait of Washington on the front with the word Liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse side of the coin, there's a proud bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches underneath, symbolizing both strength and peace. This design stayed in place for decades, and the 1993 D quarter is part of that long-running tradition. In fact, the 1993 series was one of the last before the state quarters program launched in 1999. That gives it a place in history as part of the final years of the classic eagle design. Now what does the D mean? The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, which produced just over 645 million Washington quarters in 1993. That's a lot of coins, and that's why most 1993 D quarters are still only worth 25 cents. So what makes a small number of them so special? Why would anyone spend $1.5 million on one of these? The answer lies in a combination of rare minting errors, unusual planchets, and nearly flawless condition. One of the most talked about coins from this series was struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet being the blank metal disc that gets stamped into a coin. In this case, the 1993 D quarter was reportedly struck on a silver planchet, even though U.S. quarters had not been made of silver since 1964 for circulation. Since modern quarters are made of a copper-nickel clad composition, a coin from 1993 struck on a silver blank is a major error and possibly a one-of-a-kind mistake. This kind of error is called a transitional or off-metal strike, and it happens when a planchet from another coin or an old stock gets mixed into the coin press by mistake. Coins with this type of error are extremely rare and highly valuable, especially if they are authenticated and graded in mint condition. According to various collector sources and private auction circles, one of these rare 1993 D silver era quarters is rumored to have sold privately for as much as $1.5 million. Now, whether the sale was public or private doesn't change the fact that a coin like that is incredibly valuable. And here's the best part. It may still be out there. Many people don't know what to look for, and it's very possible that others like it slipped into circulation unnoticed. So how can you tell if your 1993 D quarter is one of these ultra-rare million-dollar coins? First, check the weight. A regular quarter from this year should weigh around 5.67 grams. But if your coin is struck on a silver planchet, it will weigh closer to 6.25 grams. You'll need a precision scale that measures to the hundredth of a gram to get an accurate reading. Next, inspect the edge of the coin. A normal quarter has a copper core, so the edge will show a thin copper stripe. But a silver quarter will be silver-colored all the way around with no visible copper. That's a strong clue you may be holding something rare. Also, look for any strange features like doubled letters or numbers, off-center strikes, or unusual luster or finish. These could be signs of a valuable mint error. If your coin seems unusual or has any of these characteristics, the next step is to get it professionally graded. Services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate the coin, confirm its composition, and assign a grade. If you've got a high-grade error coin, its value can go through the roof. Even if your 1993 D quarter doesn't have a rare error, it could still be worth more than face value if it's in pristine condition. Coins that have never been circulated and are graded at MS67 or MS68 can sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. And that's just for the condition alone. Let's break this down. Most 1993 D quarters are common, but a tiny number may have been struck on the wrong metal planchet or contain other rare minting errors. Combine that with an unusually high grade and you've got a coin that could be worth thousands, tens of thousands, or in one special case, as much as $1.5 million. If that's the magic of coin collecting. It's not always about how old a coin is. Sometimes it's about how rare, how unusual, and how perfect it is. That's why collectors all over the world are searching through their old change, hoping to find that one special piece that changes everything. So before you drop that old quarter into a vending machine or parking meter, take a moment. Flip it over. Check the date. Look at the edge. Weigh it if you can. What seems like an ordinary coin might actually be something extraordinary. Thanks for watching. If you found this story interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We've got more rare coin stories coming your way, and you won't want to miss them. Drop a comment below if you have any rare finds of your own, or if there's a coin you'd like us to cover next. Until then, happy hunting, and remember, your next great discovery could be hiding in plain sight. Let me know if you'd like a matching YouTube description, tags, title ideas, or a shorter script version for social media content. Welcome back to the channel where we explore some of the most fascinating stories in the world of coins, collectibles, and hidden treasures. Today, we're diving into a coin that many people overlook, one that you may have in your old change jar or even sitting in your pocket right now. We're talking about the 1981 P. Washington quarter. Rarest coins at first glance, it looks like an ordinary coin. It's not especially old, and it's not particularly flashy. But what if I told you that one version of this exact coin is rumored to have sold for as much as $1.2 million? That's right, a 25-cent coin that could buy you a house, a luxury car, and still leave you with money in the bank that is, oh, how is that possible? What makes this 1981 quarter with a P mint mark so potentially valuable? Is it rare? Is it made of silver? Or was there something hidden that most people miss? Stick around, because this story has everything: history, mystery, and the chance that your next big find is already in your pocket. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. The coin was designed by John Flanagan and features a profile of Washington on the front with the word liberty above and the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left. On the reverse is a bold American eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, surrounded by olive branches. This classic design remained unchanged for decades until the launch of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. That means the 1981 P quarter is part of the final generation of coins to feature the traditional eagle reverse. This gives it historical significance, especially for collectors looking to complete sets from that era. Now let's talk about the P mint mark. That letter P on the coin tells us it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 600 million Washington quarters. That's a huge number, which usually means the coin is common and not worth more than face value. But here's where things get interesting. Even among coins with high mintages, mistakes can happen. Rare mint errors, wrong planchets, double dies, and other anomalies can turn an everyday coin into a collector's dream. And in very rare cases, they can be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Oh, what's the deal with the 1981 P quarter and the $1 million story? According to multiple reports in the numismatic community, a unique version of the 1981 P quarter was struck on a transitional or experimental planchet. In other words, it was minted using a blank that was not supposed to be used for that coin. Some believe this coin was accidentally struck on a silver or foreign metal planchet that made its way into the U.S. mint system. Others suggest it may have been part of a test run that was never meant to be released to the public. If authenticated, this kind of minting error can increase the coin's value astronomically, especially if it's in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. The story goes that one such coin was sold in a private sale for $1.2 million. While this sale hasn't been officially confirmed through public auction records, the legend has sparked a wave of interest among collectors and treasure hunters alike. Oh, how do you know if your 1981 P quarter could be one of these incredibly rare pieces? First, check the weight. A standard copper nickel-clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs noticeably more or less than that, it could be struck on the wrong metal. You'll need a digital scale that can measure to the hundredth of a gram for this test. Next, look at the edge. A normal quarter will have a visible copper strip running around the edge, thanks to the copper core sandwiched between two nickel layers. But if the edge is solid silver in color with no copper showing, you might be holding a silver planchet error. That alone could make the coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now check for any obvious errors like off-center strikes, double stamping in the lettering or date, or strange textures in the metal. These can also increase the value. For serious evaluation, take your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify whether your coin is authentic and assign it a grade, which has a huge impact on the final value. Even if your 1981 P quarter doesn't have a major mint error, it could still be worth more than face value if it's in exceptional condition. High-grade quarters from this year, especially those rated MS67 or higher, can sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. In fact, a perfectly preserved 1981 P quarter once sold for over $1,000 purely based on its condition. But when it comes to that rumored $1 million coin, it's all about the error. A unique, one-of-a-kind mistake that makes the coin unlike any other in existence. And that's what collectors are willing to pay big money for. The rare opportunity to own something that no one else has. So what's the takeaway here? Never ignore your pocket change. That ordinary-looking coin you almost spent on a soda could be hiding a minting mistake worth a fortune. The 1981 P Washington quarter might seem common on the surface, but under the right circumstances, it could turn out to be one of the most valuable coins in modern American history. Always check the weight, inspect the edges, and examine the details. And if anything looks out of the ordinary, don't rush to spend it. Have it professionally evaluated. It might just be your $1 million moment. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the secrets sitting quietly in your pocket. Let us know in the comments what coins you've found and what you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, happy hunting and keep checking your change. Let me know if you'd like to follow this up with a matching video description, SEO-friendly title ideas, or a social media teaser version of this script.